Hi beautiful, welcome to my channel. In today's video we are going to be going through every single bronzer I own. I love bronzers. It is one of my favorite parts of makeup and I have quite a few really good ones in my collection that I'm excited to show you. We're going to be going through all of my bronzers. I'm going to show you swatches of them all, and there might be a few that I need to declutter, so we of course will do that as well. And of course I will show you how I store them. This, by the way, is the third video I do like this. I did my blushes and my highlighters already, so if you haven't watched those videos, highly recommend them. And if you're excited to see my bronzer collection, then just go ahead and keep on watching. Okay, this mess that you're looking at right here is my powder slash bronzer drawer, which is about to change. As you can see, there are things back there I can barely access, and so it is time to divide this in two different drawers. Just like for my blushes and highlighters, I made space, so I have an empty drawer for my bronzers to move into, and I plan on leaving my powders in the top drawer. This video is going to be all about bronzers. We are going to go through my bronzer collection, swatch them all, show you how I organize them, etc. And I don't think I'm going to do a video like this one for powder, because what's the point of swatching powders? But there will be a different powder video where I show you some powders. Anyways, I digress. I'm going to go ahead and separate my bronzers from my powders. I'm going to put all my bronzers on my blanket on the floor and we will start going through them. Okay, literally don't know where to start, and I think I'm going to take one of these dividers off because some of these are a little bigger, so I can put them in like bigger sections right here. I guess let's do this one first. This is the Jaclyn Cosmetics bronzer blush duo. I have this one in this drawer because I like the bronzer better than I like the blush. Let me go ahead and swatch this one. It's a little light. I wish I would have gone for a darker color, but I really like this formula. I'm gonna swatch it right here. I just realized I do have a lot of face palettes in my bronzer drawer, so I guess we'll go through these first. This one here from Marc Jacobs I bought sometime last year. I also really like the bronzer in here. Actually, the blush is really pretty as well. The highlighter, for some reason, was super dark on me. No bronzer this light should ever be accompanied by a highlighter this dark, but that's just my opinion. And so this is the Marc Jacobs bronzer from that palette. I have this face palette right here from Miss Natasha Denona. Absolutely love that highlighter, by the way, but I'm going to focus on the bronzer and swatch it. This one's a little darker for me, but I can totally blend it out and make it work. And here's what the swatch looks like right here. See, it's a little darker than these two, although these I think are a little lighter for me, but I can totally make it work. I can blend it out and it's actually really nice and smooth. I have the Natasha Denona Bronze Cheek Palette right here, but this one doesn't actually have any bronzers in it. It just has like bronzy highlight type of shades. So I'm not going to swatch this one, but I am going to keep it in this drawer so that it's with the tan one that we just swatched. This e.l.f. and Jen Atkin collaboration palette can arguably go with my eyeshadow palettes, but for some reason I have it in this drawer, so I'm just going to go ahead and swatch the bronzer for it. This one from e.l.f. is a lot more yellow than what I usually like to go for, but I can totally make it work for me as well. Then I have this ABH cheek palette right here that came out last year, and the bronzer in here is actually really beautiful. I feel like this was not a popular launch. It's more expensive than we expected from Anastasia, but the quality of this thing is incredible. Much better than any other Anastasia bronzer I've tried for sure. And the color is perfect. Oh my god, it feels so smooth. I love this one. Check it out right here. Oh yeah. Look at how smooth that swatched. Literally in comparison to anything else I've swatched so far. Even more buttery than the Natasha Denona one. This bronzer has incredible quality. Here's another face palette from last year that I absolutely loved. I have a whole review video on this palette, so if you're interested, I highly recommend it. For today's video, I'm just going to go ahead and swatch the bronzer, which is this one up here. And this is probably one of the only like truly glowy bronzers you'll see in my collection that I actually like, because usually I'm much more of a fan of matte bronzers than glowy. But there's something really special about the Hourglass cheek formula for some reason. Like, this looks absolutely excellent, and I highly recommend it if you have dry skin. Okay, I think this might be my last cheek palette. This is a favorite of mine, very highly regarded in my collection, and the reason I love it so much is because of the two bronzer shades that come in here. This is, again, just one of my favorite products I own, period. It's the Nudegasm palette by Charlotte Tilbury, and it has one of my favorite bronzer formulas ever. I'm going to go ahead and swatch both colors. I do use them both. I sort of combine them. Mostly, as you can see by how much more wasted it is, I use the light shade, but I do combine it with a little bit of the darker one for a bit more depth. So here is the lighter shade. It just has this really beautiful cool tone to it that is so flattering. And then here is the darker one. Okay, so here they are. These are both from the Nudegasm palette, the lighter bronzer and the darker bronzer. And as you can see, they look a little bit more sheer, not as pigmented as some of the other ones, but they build up amazingly, they blend out amazingly. And maybe the fact that they're not super pigmented right away is like something that I really love about them, because I really feel like I can control exactly where I want my bronzer to go. I could not recommend this palette enough if you have a complexion similar to mine. I heard people with a little bit more medium to tan skin tones don't love it as much, but I am obsessed. Okay, I cleaned the back of my hand, and I think I'm going to go from face palettes to my cream and liquid bronzing contouring products. And this is something that I have been getting into more and more. I actually really love using cream, contour, or bronzer products, and also layering them with powders on top is something I really like. So let me go ahead and show you what I got. These right here are from Rare Beauty. I have two different colors. I have them in Always Sunny and Happy Soul. Here's Happy Soul and Always Sunny. These came out in December, and I've actually really been enjoying them. One of my all-time favorite cream bronzers has to be this one right here from NARS. It also came out last year, and I am obsessed. You can actually still find this one on the NARS website. I believe only the darker colors available last time I checked, but I will link it below just in case it comes back in stock. And as you can see, this one's well loved. I absolutely love this one. Let me go ahead and swatch it right here. See, it has this really nice cool tone to it. Of course, I grabbed way too much product, but you get the idea. I just really love how creamy this NARS one is. Like, take a look at that. See? Blends out so nicely, and it looks so natural once you blend it out. I absolutely love it. The Anastasia cream bronzer, I'm actually saving this one for a video I thought of, but I really don't like this color. I have mine in the color Amber, and it looks very yellow on me, which is not flattering at all. Let's give you a little swatch right here next to the NARS one. See, it is so yellow. I like to call this color baby poop yellow, and you can't tell me otherwise, okay? But I am keeping it for now just because I have a video where I want to use it. Okay, then I have this Kaja stamp thing right here. It has a star stamp at the top. You grab the product from down here. Let's see if we can swatch it. Okay, it still has some color in there, so I am going to keep it for now. The infamous Soleil Tan, the Chanel bronzer. This is the old formula, the highly coveted formula. Right here. Okay, so this right here is the swatch of that Chanel bronzer. Okay, this right here from Huda is actually the first cream cheek product I ever really liked. Something that became favorite status for me that was in a cream form. This from Huda has to be the first one. It's the Huda Beauty Tantour in the color Fair, and as you can see, I love this thing. And even though I've had it for years and I've used the heck out of it, it's still super creamy. It hasn't dried out or anything, which is amazing because I've had it for probably more than 2 years now. But look at how creamy it looks still. Here is the Fenty cream bronzer. I've had this one for quite a while and I really like it. My camera stopped recording and so I already swatched it. It is this swatch right here. A little bit lighter of a bronzer, which is why I don't reach for it as much. But it definitely had a moment where I was reaching for it non-stop. And I still really like it. And then these right here are the putty bronzers from e.l.f. I have two colors. I have Tan Lines and Honey Drip. And here's what the e.l.f. bronzers look like swatched. I really like these just as much as my high-end ones. They are super affordable alternatives and they perform amazingly. This is Honey Drip. This is Tan Lines right here. The colors are not too different from one another. I can actually use them both. And I really enjoy these cream bronzers from e.l.f. Let's get into some liquid bronzers, and of course we have to talk about the Hollywood Contour Wand from Miss Charlotte Tilbury. Mine is almost empty at this point and I just absolutely love this product so much. It blends out like a dream. It's nice and customizable. I have mine in the color light medium and I really like how easy it is to apply and to blend and how beautiful it looks underneath powder bronzers. The only product I've found similar to the Charlotte one is this one from KVD Beauty. If you have a tan, dark or deep complexion, this one actually has a lot more color choices and it is a lot more affordable than the Charlotte one. The Charlotte one's like $38, this one's $25. I honestly prefer the Charlotte one because it's a little bit more creamy, but this KVD Beauty one I use all the time and I actually really love it as well. The color's a little different and it is a lot glowier than the Charlotte one, but it is a beautiful sculpting product as well. Last sculpting kind of product in a tube form I'm going to mention is this right here from Westman Atelier, and this is a beautiful contouring stick. I have mine in the color Biscuit. And just take a look right here. It's got this beautiful cool undertone. It is super creamy, very easy to blend, very natural looking. And I really enjoy using this one so much from Westman Atelier. Okay, I feel like this Patrick Ta bronzer is a good way to transition from cream to powder because this one's got both, so I'm going to of course swatch them both. So here's the cream and the powder. I have mine in the color Cheese Statuesque and I feel like I should have gone for a darker color because I like my bronzers a little bit darker than this. I feel like that might be the reason why I don't reach for this one as much. Maybe in the next Sephora sale I might go for like the darker shade, but if you are lighter than me, like light to fair complexions, Cheese Statuesque is a beautiful bronzer. Here is my Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, which as you can see is very well loved. Let's go for a swatch of this one right here. And this is another one that isn't too dark, but I actually do really love this one for when I want very natural, not too bronzy looks, because it looks natural. I have two Bobbi Brown bronzers. I have the colors Golden Light and Natural. I like the color Natural better because it's a bit more cool toned, but here is Golden Light and Natural. Now Natural I do have to like blend out, use sparingly and whatnot, but I just really like the undertone of this one. Here's a Fenty powder bronzer in the color Private Island, and this one's actually a little bit too dark for me, but I make it work. Here's the swatch of the Fenty one. Check it out right there. Now this bronzer right here from Liz Beauty I don't love. I tried it out when I first tried the line and I remember it being very patchy. Give it a little swatch right here. That is the Liz Beauty bronzer. I was considering passing this one along to someone else, but what if I need it for a future video? I don't know. So I am going to keep it in my collection for now. Here is an Anastasia powder bronzer. This one is in the color Rosewood and I actually really like this one. Let's go for a swatch right here. Take a look right here. The Hoola bronzer by Benefit, which I feel like it's one of the most popular bronzers out there. This one's actually brand new because I had a little one that I gave away. I haven't reached for this one in a long time, but I feel like it's a staple and I need it. Okay, here's my swatch of Hoola. It has this really beautiful cool undertone that I love. Here's a Stila bronzer in the shade Medium, and I actually went through a whole one of these once. And this was kind of my restock, which looks pretty new. And then I just sort of moved on to something else, but I actually really love this bronzer to the point where I used a whole one of these, and this is like really huge. Anyways, let me show you the swatch. Here's the Stila swatch. See, it's really nice and smooth, very buildable, easy to control. I really love it. I'm actually not sure if this one's been discontinued, but if I find it, I'll link it below. I have this pure bronzer in the shade Bronzing Act. Let's swatch it right here. It's a little too light for me, which is why I don't reach for it too much. Can you even see it? It's right here, and the fact that I can't see it tells me I should just pass it along to someone who has a lighter complexion than me, so I'm going to go ahead and take this one out of my collection. Here is an e.l.f. powder bronzer in the color Forever Sun-Kissed. And let's do the swatch of that one here. Right here, and I do remember using this one and liking it, so I am keeping it. I also have this Charlotte Tilbury bronzer duo right here. This one has a pretty light but very flattering bronzer in it, so let me go ahead and swatch it. I'm hoping this one shows up because I know for sure that it shows on my face. Right there. It is pretty light, but again, very flattering and buildable. This is an Essence The Glowing Golds bronzer right here. I believe that these have since been discontinued, and this is the glowiest bronzer I own right here. See, it's pretty golden and it has little gold flecks in it. Not my favorite, but it was really good for the price. And I feel like it's a bronzer that I can totally use during the summertime when I want to be a little bit more golden. Here's the Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula, and this is actually a bronzer that I really, really love so much. I ran through a whole one of these once, and it looks like I tend to do this. After I ran out of my first one, I went ahead and bought another one, and then I moved on to something else. So this one looks pretty new, but I have gone through a whole one of these as well. Here's the Physicians Formula swatch, and the back of my hand has to be a lot darker than my face because I know for sure that this looks much more like something when I put it on my face than it does swatch right here. This glowish bronzer by Huda Beauty right here was my favorite thing last summer. It is golden and glowy and it lasts forever, but it's not too golden and it's not too glowy. So I absolutely loved it. Let's give it a little swatch. Okay, here it is. This one is the Glowish Bronzer by Huda. This Dior bronzer is absolutely glorious. I have it in shade number 5. I am obsessed with the packaging. And number 5 is like maybe a hair too dark for me, but I can totally make this work and it looks so good. Here is the swatch of the Dior bronzer. Beautiful. And last but certainly not least, this is actually one of my favorite bronzers in my collection. Certainly the most bougie bronzer in my collection, and I am obsessed with it. The Gucci bronzer, and I have this one in shade number 2, which is darker than number 3, but I like it a lot because it's a lot more cool tone than number 3. And so this is the one that I went for. Take a look right here. It looks really dark, but this looks really good on my face. Maybe I should also get number 3. That's something else to think about for, you know, the next Sephora sale. Alright, and here is the Gucci swatch. I really love the undertone of this one and the natural finish that it has. Okay, and so this is what things are looking like in my organizer. Let me put this in the drawer and show you the final results. And I only took this pure one out of my collection, which I'm actually not going to take out. I'm going to like put it back in here, and I'll decide later. I want to try it on my face before I decide to get rid of it because it might not be too light on my face. Okay, and so this is how my finished bronzer drawer looks like, bronzer slash face palette drawer. I'm very happy with the way this came out. I like all of these bronzers. I really didn't want to get rid of any, and so I am keeping everything, but I'm super excited that I separated it from my powders and I showed you every single bronzer I own. As far as my powder collection, like I said, I'm not going to do one of these videos for it, but let me show you what it looks like once I organize it on the acrylic container. Okay, take a look right there. These are all of my powders. I don't have that many of them. I don't even like half of these. Powders is just something that I'm very, very picky about because my skin is so dry. So if I were to get rid of the ones that don't work for me, I would probably have less than 10 powders total in my collection. I'm not going to be getting rid of any right now, and I do have a powder related video coming, but it's not the collection, so just Here it is in case you were interested. Alrighty, so those were all the bronzers I had for you today. I really hope that you guys liked this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up before you leave. If you're new to my channel, I would love it if you were here to stay, so please subscribe before you leave. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you back in the next video. Bye!